into the conversation, and this is what she said, quote, "The murders of generations of unarmed black folks by police have been horrific. Lives are at stake daily. So I'm out of patience when it comes, I'm out of patience with critiques of the language of activists. Whatever a grieving family says is their truth, and I will never stop fighting for their justice and healing." That was one of the squad members, Ayanna Presley from Massachusetts. And then you have Cori Bush, who we've had on the show before. Amazing victory that she had. And this is what she said as she makes her way to Congress. She said, "With all due respect, Mr. President," speaking to Barack Obama, "let's talk about losing people. We lost Michael Brown Jr. We lost Breonna Taylor. We are losing our loved ones to police violence. It's not a slogan. Defund the police is not a slogan. It's a mandate for keeping our people alive. Defund the police." What are your thoughts in general about three things? We have three things going here. We have Barack Obama wading into the conversation. All due respect to the president. You know, he went through a lot of challenges as president of the United States with racism, with white supremacy, with the Republican Party. But what are your thoughts about him wading into this conversation about defund the police on the side that he came in on? Then number two, defund the police in general. But then number three, the fact that Cori Bush and Ayanna Presley from the squad, I mean, they're coming through and they're not they're not making any apologies.
Yeah, you know, it's heartbreaking and it's infuriating to see that language and that tweet that quotes President Obama, because it's like, you know, we've lost Tamir Rice, we've lost Trayvon Martin, we've lost Tatiana Jefferson, we've lost Philando Castile, we've lost Ramarley Graham, on and on and on, right? And you know, we've allowed defund the police to be co-opted by the right as a talking point, and now we have to continue to respond to the talking point without dealing with the issue of and the legacy of institutional racism and systemic racism in a very real way. If you're black in America, you're more likely to be killed by police. If you're black in America, you're more likely to go to jail for long periods of time. If you're black and or poor in America, you're more likely to be in prison and not be able to bail yourself out. If you're black in America, you're more likely to die of heart disease or cancer. You're more likely to die of COVID. You're more likely to deal with food insecurity and housing insecurity. You're more likely to go to underfunded schools. I mean, are we going to deal with systemic racism, or are we going to continue to talk about defund the police? And on the defund the police point, again, what we're saying is a reallocation of resources toward true public health and true public safety. 95% of what police do is not dealing with violent crimes. 5% of what they do deal with rape, murder, aggravated assault. Not dealing with mental health, not dealing with administrative costs, right? So, you know, we're not having the right conversations, and we're not talking about real reform. And I hate the word reform, because when we talk about reform, we talk about better training for police.
Right.
Well, we've tried that. We've tried that all over the country. There's a culture in America's DNA that devalues black life. And that culture is expressed by law enforcement in the murder of black people, but it's also expressed by vigilantes in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Yes. Or Trayvon Martin. I mean, these are people who think that because they are white and they represent law enforcement, they could kill black bodies and get away with it. We're not talking transparency. We're not talking accountability. And, you know, my sister Cori, my sister Ayanna, I'm right there with them, right? In calling that out. That's nonsense. We would love to have former President Obama articulate a vision and a strategy in dealing with the infrastructure and the underbelly of institutional racism in this country. He hasn't done that. Although he has said, you know, Trayvon Martin could have been his son. So where's that, Barack Obama? You know, as we have these conversations now.